What's up, friends? Bodie Horn here. I've got a few things I want to share with you about something that I'm infatuated with. I think it's a pretty big deal to you too, and it's called your brain. Yeah, your brain. Okay, now you've only got one brain, unless you're a Siamese twin, then you've only got one brain. So there. But you've got three amazing complex compartments of your brain that we're going to discuss today. Three. Basically, it's in layers like an ogre or an onion. Scratch that. But there are three layers of your brain that work fundamental and help to inform one another. But it starts at the very bottom, just like a pyramid. Just like a pyramid. Do you ever try and build a pyramid from the top? So you've got a reptile brain. Oh, let me get to the right image here. Whoop. Ha, here we are. So survival state. This is your reptilian brain, which you'll see here in the red. I don't have permission to use any of these images. I'm just doing a screen recording. I'm not making any money on this. So everyone get off my back, okay? This is just the internet. This is just me making a video. It's called media. It's called sharing. It's called, hey, this is your reptilian brain. It's all about the survival state, and it's the brain center. It says, am I safe? The reptilian brain is fundamental because it's what picks up on the stuff that decides if you're going to know anymore about something. For instance, if something is irrelevant to you and it means nothing, your reptilian brain's not going to pick up on it. It's never going to get to the higher parts of your brain. Therefore, it practically doesn't exist. Now, the only things that really catch your attention that you ever become conscious of are things that are either novel, like interesting, things that are dangerous, like could be bad for you and cause you to not be alive, or things that are good for you, which are things that increase your likelihood of survival. So either it's novel, it's bad, it's good, or it doesn't exist, essentially. Okay. So that is what the survival part of your brain is concerned with. And when it receives messages, signals, sensory input from the inside or outside in your imagination or in your environment, it will take that information, if it's good, bad, or interesting, and it will shoot it up to other parts of your brain that can deal with it further, that can further process it and make it more conscious for you. So the reptilian part of your brain is all about fight or flight or food or fornication. I don't like the fornication word, so I'm going to say fucking. It's all about food or fucking or fight or flight. Okay, that is what this part, the reptilian part of your brain, is concerned with. It is like wired for this stuff. Okay, all about that's where competition comes from. That's where aggression comes from. Domination, and I'm not talking BDSM, because that tends to be a little more complex, but it is based on signals and based on the faculty of your reptilian brain. Now, the reptilian brain is so fundamental to your survival because without your conscious thought, it doesn't require you to think about maintaining your heartbeat. It doesn't require you to be consciously thinking of maintaining balance. Like right now, I'm sitting up. That is amazing. And guess what? It's not like I'm expending conscious energy to do it. The reptilian brain is maintaining that balance, is maintaining the things that are survival basics, heartbeat, breathing, all of your vital signs. Okay, that is the hindbrain. That is your reptilian brain. Um, so basically, you could break it down and say that the reptilian brain is all about your why. Like, why? Like, why is something important? Why are you going to act on something? Why are you going to respond? And it's all about good, bad, interesting. Okay, so if you have a message that you want to share with someone, don't start off with a bunch of like high abstract leveled features that are pretty much void of meaning, unless, of course, there's a why to it. Okay, so you've got to, if you got a message, maximize the content or the conveyance of this is good for your survival. and or this could be bad for your survival. Basically, we want to survive, we want to stay alive, maximize that, and we don't want to die. So our reptilian brain tries to minimize things that might cause us to die. All right. So appeal to what's important if you have a message or if you have something that you need to get across it, that you need to communicate. To me, this is important. To you, it might be important because you're like, oh, yes, I have a brain. I can do things with this. Yes, you can. So that is the reptilian brain. If you have no why, then it's going to filter out of your perception. It will essentially not exist. Moving on. Moving on from those unconscious beliefs, the way the world is framed at a very fundamental level, once you access that, then things move up into what is called our emotional brain or the primate brain. It's the limbic system, which houses your amygdala, your hypothalamus, and a few other things, parts of your brain that are basically the buffer between those unconscious actions of the reptilian brain and the higher faculties of your neocortex brain. Okay, remember I showed you before, we've got the reptile, we got the primate, and then we've got what I like to call the God brain. I think it's the divine part of us. In fact, I don't think we would even comprehend like divinity the way that we do. Well, that's kind of a really broad statement because there's so many different ways to process or consider or feel out divinity. Um, that aside, I call it the God brain because it's how we transcend. It's how we go above and beyond. But we're not there yet. I'm still on the primate brain, the monkey brain. So that is your limbic. That is the midbrain, and it's what generates and regulates all your chemical flows. Okay, it's what regulates your hormone levels. It is the emotional part of your brain. It's how we experience joy, anger, sympathy, envy, compassion, like all these things, it's generated there in our limbic brain. It's remember, it's the mediator between the snap reactive brain of the reptile and the higher level executive function of the divine brain or the neocortex. So this primate brain is basically the how factor. Like, how do I relate? Am I connected? Am I loved? You know, the reptilian brain says, am I safe? The mammalian primate brain is very socially based. It takes from the reptile is just like this, it's just me. And the primate brain is like, it's me and what I'm surrounded by, my connection to it. How am I connected to these things? How do these things relate? So that's just another powerful part of our brain that's really social based, emotion based, and it's pretty important. But that is the so far we've started on level one, the reptilian. You got to first begin there, then you move up to the primate brain, and then we go up to what is my favorite, the neocortex, because it's your smart junk. It's the stuff that basically all the advances of humankind come from. It's the logical brain. It's not purely reactive the way our reptilian brain is, and it's not purely emotional the way our primate brain is, the way our midbrain is. It is logical, it's imagination based. It's actually the high level of our identity of it's where our attention resides. Okay, like right now you're aware of certain things and other things you're unaware of. The things you're unaware of but that are actually being processed in your body, that's what we call unconscious, subconscious. It's below consciousness. Things that you're aware of are happening up here in your neocortex, in your executive state, the prefrontal lobes. Now I'm going to show you another picture here that kind of illustrates a little bit, that's all neocortex, that shows you a little bit better how much of your brain. Now see this in the blue, that is like the neocortex. That is up here is the prefrontal and the very front of your brain, and all the stuff on top is the neocortex. Cortex means like bark, so basically it's the outside of your brain. And you'll notice that the blue stuff here, which is the neocortex region, takes up like 75 to 76% of the space in your skull. You know, that's the major part of your brain as a human being. This is what separates us from all the other animals. The greater apes also have a neocortex, prefrontal, all that jazz. However, it is not as complex or as thick as ours is. They don't have they don't have as many wrinkles or as much mass as we do. The wrinkles actually provide more space for more processing, for more neurons, for more processing. So as I mentioned before, the neocortex is all about reasoning. This is where our language comes from. This is where our conscious thought comes from. This is our general perception. And the reason it's our general perception is because we don't really perceive things unless we're aware of them. Now, we can sense things we're unaware of, which is our lower brains, okay? But we perceive things beyond sense. You know, perception is sense that's being handled, okay? It's our sense, it's our senses in a way that's being handled with our attention, with our consciousness. So this is the most beautiful part of your brain. Why? Because here's a really cool fact, first of all. Now, there's a lot more one-way streets that start in your reptile brain down here, going to the front of your brain. No, I'm sorry, not the reptile brain. Your limbic system, the midbrain. There's a lot more projections, a lot more one-way streets, we'll call them, going from your midbrain to your prefrontal cortex. And the reason that I'm bringing this up is because you might wonder sometimes why it's so hard to change the way you feel, especially with intense emotions, especially when stuff gets really deep or really hard or really difficult or really overwhelming. Like that's what our emotions do. Our emotions let us become aware of the stuff going on inside of us. Okay. Now, the reason I bring up that fact that there's more projections from the midbrain to the prefrontal brain is because it can be overwhelming. It's very difficult to control emotion because there's not as many one-way streets going from this part of your brain back. So it's a lot harder to gain logical conscious control when you're feeling emotionally unreasonable or when your emotions aren't being reasonable. Are they ever? So the point is with attention and determination, you can do really amazing things. You can reprogram the unconscious parts of your mind, but it requires repetition. Did you always know how to drive a car? Did you always know how to brush your teeth? Did you always know how to do like tie a shoe, for instance? I remember watching Mr. Rogers show me how to tie a shoe. Before I knew how to do it, I was like, whoa, that is fucking magic. How does he do that? And then I realized, you know, after practicing and doing it over and over and over, well, I could do that without looking now. I could do that without paying any attention. Same with, well, I'm not going to say that with driving because for fuck's sake, you should pay attention when you're driving. But you could do it without thinking, okay, right pedal, gas, left pedal, brake, and the one all the way to the left, clutch. Like you don't have to, if you've practiced it and you've done it a lot, it was at first a very conscious effort, but when you do something consciously for so long, it becomes natural to you. It becomes ingrained in those lower parts of your brain and requires less of your conscious resources so you can pay attention to other things that are important to you. Listen, I've only got like 30 seconds left in this video, and I just want you to know you've got more power than you've ever been led to believe. You've got an amazing brain. It doesn't matter how old you are. Do some physical activity, do some mental exercises, because that is how our whole entire thing is geared. To stay vital, you've got to be vital, okay? Be active, do things that are good for you, use your neocortex in a way that that makes your beliefs, makes your frame of life, makes your feelings as awesome as possible. Okay, that is the end of this video for today. I'm going to go into way more detail on this in my class that I'll soon be releasing on udemy.com. Look me up on Bodhi Horn. Love you. Peace. Motherfucker!